Hello and welcome to A Day in the Life of Rashasha, Episode 1, Part 1. You may be wondering what Rashasha means. Rashasha is an Arabic word that means machine gun, and that's what everyone calls me around here. Not exactly sure why. Maybe when we turned over from the last unit, there was a guy they called Rashasha, or maybe it's just because I carry machine guns. Who knows? Right now we're going to train some Iraqis at Enemy Control Point 5, also more formally known as ECP 5. We're in a Humvee traveling along Route Patty right now. This little antenna sticking off the back of my Humvee is called a chameleon. I'm not exactly sure why it's a chameleon. Maybe because the people that made it, his company's name is Chameleon. But it is our crew system, which stands for Counter Radio Operated Improvised Explosive Device Electronic Warfare System. That little weird looking thing we got right there on the back of our truck is called a boomerang. Nobody exactly knows how to use this thing, but it's supposed to tell us where shots come from if people are shooting at our Humvees within about 800 meters or so. This little baby right here is my MK-19, more formally known as the Mark 19. It's a fully automatic grenade launcher heavy machine gun. And these right here are the grenades that it uses. Feeds them in through here and spits them out there at various rates of speed, which cause mass quantities of high explosive death. And right about now we should be stopping. Never mind, we didn't stop today, but we just passed the IP station and you missed it. IP stands for Iraqi Police. That house right there, I once did a 10-hour patrolling operation, and the air went red, so we couldn't really move much farther, which means that helicopters could not fly and see while the air is red, because if we ever need a medical evacuation with a helicopter, it would not be available to us due to lack of vision. This river right here to our left is the Euphrates River. I imagine the Euphrates would be a very nice river if it were in the States. It would be perfect to wakeboard on, go tubing, and things of the various sort, because it is so low compared to the other terrain around it that no wind really ever touches it. It's flat as can be, even in hurricane-style winds. Coming up on our right here, you're going to be seeing the schoolhouse. Oh, there it is. Bask in the schoolhouse's glory. Little kids out there, and it's done. Along our way, we will see many kids asking me for chocolate. If you can't figure out what that is, it means chocolate. They will say it in a meaning of Mr. Chocolate, which means Mister, give me chocolate. I actually have a bag of chocolate with me. Some kids will be denied, and others will get the privilege of having me throw candy into the middle of the street for them to run and gallivant around wildly until they get one. Sheep. Sheep are a fine delicacy here, and we got to see a sheep slaughtered before our very eyes. And then we ate the sheep, and it was delicious. The weird part about it is the sheep was green when we ate it, or lamb meat. That's a mosque right there that we just passed. Interesting thing about Iraq, they take their religion very seriously here, and you could find a mosque just about any equivalent to 4 blocks in America. They take religion very seriously, and they all have speakers on top of their roofs, all the mosques do, and they call out prayers 5 times a day, and people pray. It's not like you see in movies or hear about where they stop wherever they are and they get on their knees and start praying. Look at that, there's an eyepiece, little checkpoint, and they were yelling bad at me, which is Muzian in Arabic. Not exactly sure why, but they probably thought they were being funny, so they don't get any chocolate. We could take a look around the turret real quick. This right here is a flag. And this is a pop-up. You pull this cap off, put it on the bottom, and you push it very hardly and the flare comes out. Pretty neat. This is a dazzler. It's a green laser that would be illegal in the United States because it's so high powered. We use it to scare cars away when they get too close to the convoys. That's my glove that I should be wearing, but I'm not. This right here is an M16A4 service rifle with a cog attachment, which is a scope, and PEG 2, which is this thing. It's an infrared laser that you can only see through night vision goggles. Night vision goggles. Now I will arm a piece of candy in my hand to throw out to the local populace. Peppermint. We had lots of these peppermint things at Silver, and we're getting pretty close to the time where we need to leave, so stuff has to go. And sorry to say it, this peppermint is something that is something like you'd find at my grandmother's house that has been sitting out since the Christmas of '83 and nobody has eaten, but you think you know, somebody's going to want it eventually, but you know, I finally took the initiative and said nobody is going to want this peppermint, and so I'm taking it to 30 kids. Don't see any kids yet, which is quite odd. They're probably all at the schoolhouse by now, or maybe we're just missing them or something, or they know something that we don't, and they're trying to stay away from the IEDs that have been planted in the road. All possibilities. None of them more likely than the other. Today is January 15th. I'll be leaving Club Silver probably around the 1st of a month to go back to Camp Habanilla. The vast majority of everybody will be leaving on the 24th of January to go back to Camp Habanilla, but I have to stay back to teach people how to use machine guns. Just part of the job. And I'll be back in the States around February 13th, give or take a few days or a few months, you never know, with the Marine Corps. There's a car coming up behind us. It appears to be getting pretty close, but I'm not going to worry about it. He's varying his speed to degrees to simulate ours. You can see the lovely view of Iraq. It's a beautiful country, I guess, if you're near the river, but the further you get away from the river, everything seems to get just sandier, I guess. We'll turn around to the front of the vehicle so you can see the road as it comes. Dum, 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 dum. Those are IPs at an IP checkpoint. This is our the front of our Humvee right here. It's pretty beat up. A couple of antennas on the front of it. My driver today is Lance Corporal Flores Piñate, and The vehicle commander is also my team leader, Corporal Dennis. And there's some kids by a donkey and their mom. That's what the women look like here. And another reason why I'm very excited to go home, because women don't wear stuff all over their face. That house right there, when we first got here, we found a weapons cache at, which is a mass coagulation of weapons inside of a house that are illegal or they're not supposed to have. And there were a lot of rifles, AKs, sniper rifles. A couple of them were Dragunovs, an M4 from the Saudi Arabia conflict that we had out there that had an ACOG on top of it too. Had a couple of pistols. Pistols are illegal in Iraq, for those of you who want to know, unless you have a weapons carrying permit for one, or usually only Army or police get stuff like that. And we found a couple of pineapple grenades there as well, along with mini munitions. And when I get home, I will rant about this very much. This is what we call a water tower. Dum, dum, dum. The patrol to water tower is the most hellacious, patrol that you'll ever have to do. It takes about 4.5 hours just to get to water tower, and during the summer when it's 135 degrees outside, not fun at all. We've actually been further than water tower, not too much further, but that was a very hellacious patrol there. Chocolate! Let's see which one gets it. Oh, he just hit the kid. Look at that. Took his chocolate. It's just the way of the world in Iraq. This is about as far as we've been. We stopped at one of these houses down here somewhere. And then we decided to go back after we took like a good half-an-hour break. But that patrol was, all in all, probably like 10 or 11 hours. Not fun. Not fun at all. The training that we're going to be doing today will be conducted at a landing zone for helicopters. We're going to train Iraqi police to do their jobs better. They get this monthly training from Marines, and when we leave, they'll probably just, some of the senior guys will take over the training and conduct all kinds of different operations and stuff. This right here is a lovely looking village coming up. Look at these houses. Now you cannot honestly look at those and tell me that that is not your dream home right there. A shanty here in Iraq would probably cost somebody maybe close to $200-300 here, which would be the equivalent of those homes. A nicer house could cost someone, up to a decent American standard would be maybe $4,000 or $5,000. And a rather nice house in America out here would probably cost you, I don't know, I'd say as much as $10,000 to $15,000, and that's a really, really, really nice house. So everything is very cheap here. It's all made by Iraqis. People come out and pour mounds of dirt, they flatten it out, put bricks on top of it, glass windows. Yeah, they know how to make their houses. They've been doing it for a long time. There's a whole bunch of cars behind us now, and they are probably very pissed off that they can't get on with their daily lives. Safia Dafia! Hey! Shakumaku is basically the equivalent of what's up in America. That is what that man just said to me. I said Safia Dafia, which, you know, you just kind of go along with the rhyming thing. Shakumaku, Safia Dafia. Safia Dafia actually technically means bright and sunny, but to them it just makes more sense. It's kind of like, you know, I'm doing good. Today just might be a good day. But for me, I will be in this turret for another, close to 6 hours. Not exactly my definition of a fun time, but, you know, it beats doing other things, like patrolling the water tower. The distance there, I don't know if you can really see it, but there's a giant steeple, which is a mosque. It's a really nice one. It's off of Boston Road out here. We'll turn on to Boston eventually, but we will not go by the really nice mosque. The mosques here in Iraq are often very much nicer than their homes because it's so important to them. Oh gosh, I've got more chocolate. Oh, there's 2 of them and I only threw 1. Which one will get it? Oh, the little one's taking the lead and the big one gave up. There he goes, the little one got it. Now his older brother will probably beat him up and take his chocolate. Now there's an IP truck getting really close to me. This is kind of a difficult issue because we're not exactly supposed to shoot at police, but they're not supposed to, you know, pass our convoy, get me things of the such. But, you know, as long as he stays right there, he's good. If he gets too close, I mean, like, about to ram me, I could shoot, you know, maybe throw a rock, candy, chocolate. But, if he gets much closer, I'll try and flag him down. Sheep in the back of a pickup truck. If you can see it behind that police truck, there's 2 of what you call here in Iraq bongos. Now, bongo is not a racial slur that Marines have made up for these sort of van truck things, but it's actually what you call them. They're called bongos. I don't know who decided to make up that name, but it's terrible. I think Andrew Turner once had a dog named Bongo, and it was nasty. Every family here in Iraq owns at least 1, but not limited to 18 bongos. I don't know why. Maybe they're cheap, versatile, something like that, but God, they're just nasty, cheap little things. No, I wouldn't feel safe riding in one. I feel it's the equivalent to an old Toyota MPV. This is the turn to Sarah. This is a checkpoint between Patty and Sarah. Patty was the road we were on. Sarah is the road that we are now on. Sarah connects Patty to Boston, where we will go. And Boston is where Cop Black is, which is the Command Operating Post Black. That's where all of our higher-ups are. So I don't really enjoy going to Black much, because I don't feel like being harassed by, you know, officers and such. I'm not exactly sure if we're going to Black, but we will pass by it en route to ECP 5. There's another Humvee that we gave the Iraqis, and they painted it blue and white. There's a crane thing sitting down in the middle of the field, probably broken. Oh god, this guy is close. I guess he's probably just traveling with our convoy. I don't know. I don't really mind too much. I've learned to trust the police here quite a bit. I mean, they're the ones that are going to get all of the Americans out of Iraq by them stepping up and doing their job, so I kind of have to trust them, but at the same time, there's a lot of them that are pretty shady people. It's a pretty nice house there, not quite finished yet. That one, not as nice. Look, it's like Tijuana. They're trying to sell me stuff while I'm in a truck. Now coming up on Route Boston. We're in a 5-vehicle convoy though, so it's going to take a while for our truck to get up there, but the first Victor has already turned onto Boston. We call our Humvees Vics. Vic stands for Victor. Victor is V in the phonetic alphabet, and V stands for vehicle, which are the Humvees. So if you hear me calling them Vics throughout this, it's just, you know, such habit, and that's what it means. Hey, look, another bongo. We're now turning on to Boston, and there's like 80 bongos lined up right there, waiting for us. It's another checkpoint in between roads. There's basically one at all roads. And another bongo. You can see the quality of cars here is pretty inferior to that of the United States. And there's another bongo. The guy's selling gas out of it. Bongos come in 2 different forms. They have little pickup truck ones and van style ones. And those large dump trucks right there are very common here too. You see one about every 20 meters. A couple of helicopters coming in right there from I don't know where. Looks like you got a Cobra on lead ship and Black Hawk on tail ship. Lucky, they might fly over us. They didn't get too close, but still pretty cool to see. There's some more bongos and dump trucks. We're coming up on Command Operating Post Black now. I'm not exactly sure if we're going in or not. I hope not. But the camera and the turret definitely isn't something I want to be having out while going past Black. But we'll see what happens. Especially because I'm not wearing any eye protection or one glove. But you never know. See, it's a very interesting road. It's flat. Either sides of it is flat and dirt. see in the distance there's a little kind of a steeple looking thing. It's vastly much rounder than the other steeple that we saw, but that is a cop black. I've got all these hedgehogs coming up, these little metal kind of jack looking things in the middle of the road. Hedgehogs, I don't know why we call them hedgehogs, but they will screw your car up if you drive over them. There's a bunch of C-wire, which stands for concertina wire. It's basically barbed wire that comes in spools. You pull out really easily. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn around now. You can see this as we're going through. Those hedgehogs, if you drive over them, will tear up the entire underside of your car and disable it for life, more than likely. Have seen it happen once. It was awesome. Car hit it by accident. Not on purpose, we think. And we're coming into black now. We're rolling past their battle space at the very least. I hate that. There's tank tracks on the ground right there that they use as speed bumps for convoys coming in, and they beat the crap out of you in these turrets. I also have them at Camp Hub. Yeah. It looks like we are entering black, so I'm going to go ahead and have to stop filming. Well, that was a day in the life of Rashasha, episode 1, part 1. Stay tuned for more.